On My 600-Pound Life, we've all watched the same pattern. A patient rolls up to Houston, Dr. Now lays down the blunt truth, and cameras capture every pound lost or gained over the next year. The show ends, we clap, and TLC moves on to the next story. What we don't see is what happens after the credits. Behind the transformation photos, dozens of former patients kept fighting, some against new complications, some against old habits, and many of them didn't make it. Tonight's episode isn't about meal plans or miraculous reveals, it's about the part the series rarely revisits, the people who died after giving the world a front row seat to their most vulnerable moments. We're pulling back the curtain on the darker side of the program, how high those stakes really were, how little follow-up the audience ever gets, and why these losses deserve more than a passing headline.
And we'll get right into these tragic stories, but quickly, if you guys could please leave a comment down below saying hello. I'll reply to every single one of you, yes I really mean that, and it just helps the algorithm, and I appreciate it massively.
Vianney Rodriguez entered season 7 with her husband, Alan, weighing 594 pounds. He weighed 648. Their romance had always revolved around indulgent cooking dates and late-night drive-through runs.
The hardest thing for me is me and my wife, Vianney, can't be in the same bed because of how big we both are now.
Trauma from Vianney's childhood fed her low self-worth, so every meal doubled as medication. Under Dr. Now's program, they ditched sugary drinks, swapped frying pans for sheet pan veggies, and lost more than 200 pounds each. Alan reached the operating table. Vianney's surgery was cancelled after dangerous blood oxygen readings. Even so, she powered through bruising workouts at a local pool, determined to catch up. Sadly, COVID-19 complications triggered pneumonia, and Vianney passed on November 20th, 2023. Her journey still resonates as proof that partnership can spark huge change, yet timing can be brutally unforgiving. Paul McNeil.
It's been almost 2 months since my last appointment with Dr. Now. My next appointment with him is in a week, and I'm feeling pretty good about how I'm doing and my chances of meeting my goal. Ultimately, I'm still not sure what my weight loss is right now, but I stayed on the diet completely, and I made sure I'm paying attention to my portion sizes. 2 months ago, I made it down to 695. Dr. Now gave me another weight loss goal to lose 50 pounds by that day. So if I made it, I'll be down to 645 today.
Your weight is 641.
Yes. That's awesome. It felt really good to see that number come up. So I'm excited. I'm really excited. Lymphedema?
And you got ulcers down in the leg?
All the way down to my feet.
Okay.
Ulcers on the back of my legs here. Nothing really open right now, but sometimes they do open.
Okay. So what are you doing with the lymphedema?
I try to put socks on. I got some compression socks, but sometimes it's hard to do.
Okay.
Paul McNeil from season 10 tipped the scales at 750 pounds. Every step felt like his knees were grinding glass, yet he dreamed of standing tall beside his fiancée on their wedding day. Lymphedema in his legs ballooned so badly he wrapped them in towels just to shuffle across the room.
So who is enabling you more, your mother or your friend?
Probably me, because he's with me more.
So you are the one that you encourage him to eat whatever he wants, whenever he wants?
Allow it, and I give it to him.
His mother, wanting to comfort him, still handed over fast food bags when he asked, an emotional tug-of-war that played out in front of cameras. Under Dr. Now, Paul embraced weigh-ins like pep rallies, dropping 200 pounds. He even posted side-by-side photos flexing newfound biceps. On September 21st, 2023, a car crash erased everything in an instant. Heartbreak deepened when friends revealed he had just booked the honeymoon suite for December. Paul's story shows how success can be derailed by fate, not just by food. Larry Myers Jr., dubbed Mr. Buttermilk Biscuits, after a viral gospel video, Larry lit up season 10 with his booming laugh.
On a good day, I think I eat about 3,000 calories. Thank you. I'ma enjoy.
I tried to diet, but
There is a void. I miss my mother, I miss my sisters, so only thing I have is my food.
and so
Constantly eating and portion control are the hardest parts for me. When I eat, it's hard for me to stop.
even when I'm full, I could always have more.
Every single bite to the last of it.
Buttermilk biscuits.
I enjoy it. I'm trapped in this body, and I just want to be free. If I don't do something different, I know I'm going to die.
Behind that smile lay grief. He lost his mother and sister within months, and the emotional fallout pulled him back into calorie binges. He slimmed down by 100 pounds, belting out hymns on his treadmill to keep spirits high. Dr. Now believed one more push would earn him skin removal surgery, Larry's dream step toward performing on stage without pain. But a sudden heart complication ended his life on June 13th, 2023, days after his 49th birthday. Fans still replay his clinic performances for inspiration, but his final chapter warns that internal damage can lurk long after the weight begins to fall. Angela Gutierrez.
So we have a bit of an issue again. Because you missed your appointment again, saying you were sick, but turned out you weren't. So what is your excuse this time?
I just had some family things going on and I haven't been able to come out to Texas. But I do plan on being out there to hopefully get an apartment. I've had no luck on this end.
You've been planning to do that for a while now. But you haven't been getting back to us, and you've been avoiding my calls, making excuses, and lying to us. But now you aren't sick. You have completely recovered, it seems. So what's the reason you're still not coming down to Houston to see me for your follow-up appointment?
You know what? I'll be very honest with you. I don't know why it took so long. It seemed like something was happening every other week.
So you let another month go without doing what you're supposed to be doing. Because you don't look like you have lost any weight, so you keep making excuses.
You said you want me to come in a week. So when I come in a week and you see that I have lost 120 pounds, then you'll see that I am serious and I have been serious. I am not like others. I'm not coming because I'm not losing weight. So I hope that you see I'm not lying when I get there.
Now you're claiming you lost 120 pounds since I saw you. Last month it was 70 pounds, so you're saying you lost another 50 pounds since then?
Yes, sir.
Then how come you don't look like it and you're still on oxygen?
I don't know, sir, but I have been following my diet and I'm doing great.
Angela, you're more delusional than I thought if you still think you can manipulate me. And when it comes to this program, you're not special. And lying to me about your weight is not going to get me to tell you what you want.
Angela appeared in season 7, balancing her own health crises with caregiving duties. Her teenage daughter had multiple sclerosis, and Angela also cared for her young cousin. At 608 pounds, she relied on portable oxygen, joking that the tank felt like a fussy extra child. She briefly relocated to Houston with help from an ex-boyfriend, but bills mounted, and she retreated to Ohio, promising Dr. Now she'd stick to the meal plan remotely. During video check-ins, her cheeks looked fuller, and viewers worried. Oxygen tubes framed her face right up until she died on March 21st, 2023. Angela's chapter underlines how financial strain and caregiver exhaustion can sabotage even the best intentions. Destiny Lachey. Destiny arrived in season 7 weighing roughly 700 pounds and quickly became the show's first openly transgender cast member.
I'm just 27. I have so much that I want to do and that I need to do. And I can't believe this is my life now, where I just lay here all day and wait for food. And I don't see any of my family and friends unless they come to see me. And it's mostly only my sister and mom.
When I come over, it's mostly to get Destiny out of the bed, to get her up, because she's usually just laying down. You gonna come or no?
Yes, sir.
You need help?
Hold on. I feel like all I'm constantly doing is just trying to escape all my depression and pain at this point. And food is the only thing I have to turn to do that.
She spoke openly about depression, describing food as a silencer for suicidal thoughts. Over 2 years, Destiny shed more than 500 pounds, documenting gym sessions, dance challenges, and new wardrobes that actually fit, yet tweets hinted at lingering darkness. Smiles hide battles, she wrote. On February 8th, 2022, Destiny was tragically unalived, stunning supporters. Her arc reminds us dramatic body changes can't erase trauma without sustained mental health care, and representation alone isn't enough if safety nets aren't built in. Laura Ann Perez.
Some of the things I do for her may not be good for her, like the sweets and other stuff, but she means the world to me. I love my wife a lot.
But it's hard to tell her no because I love her.
My mom doesn't know about this.
Now I'm around 600 pounds and I can't do anything anymore. I want to get healthy, but I love food.
Laura Ann from San Antonio wasn't fully bedridden when she joined season 3 at 594 pounds, but her world shrank to short hallway walks with an oxygen tank in tow. Sugar was her Achilles heel. She'd hide cookies in laundry baskets to avoid judgment. Through food journaling and portioned meal prep, she ripped off 412 pounds, wowing fans when she danced in her living room unaided. 9 years later, news surfaced that she died in 2021 at 48. No cause was released, but her earlier diabetes and hypertension likely caught up. Laura's tale shows that weight loss wins don't automatically cancel long-term disease. Ashley Randall.
A lot has changed in the last 10 years. So much of my life is better now, but there's still a lot I'm trying to work on. When my dad died, my mom decided to sell the house. So I moved in with a friend. My mom moved in with my younger sister, Megan. They were always closer anyway, so it made sense. Since my dad died, my mom and I have been trying to work on our relationship. But she still gives me a hard time about my weight.
Ashley blamed me for her weight, but I didn't force her to eat any of their foods. I told her, I said, once you have this surgery, there will be no Cokes, no chips. Oh, she got very mad at me. She's a mess.
At my highest, I had gotten up to 617 pounds. But a few years ago, I had reached my lowest weight, 216 pounds. I had lost over 400 pounds, and I was so proud of myself. I wanted to keep losing that weight because my dad would have wanted me to.
My daddy was always there in my corner. He was proud that I was losing the weight, and it feels very good for me that he got to see that.
Season 1's Ashley Randall weighed 617 pounds at 24. Her mother's harsh comments echoing in every mirror. Gastric bypass helped her drop to 265 pounds. She's celebrated by roller skating for the first time since middle school. After her father passed, Ashley redoubled her workouts, biking along Texas greenways. But an infection led to sepsis and pneumonia, ending her life on October 8th, 2021, at 40. Her swift decline highlights that immune systems can stay fragile for years after surgery, especially when patients push intense routines without close medical monitoring. Gina Krasley.
I wake up every day to the same miserable experience. Because my weight has me trapped in this chair all day, every day. And I hate it. All I can do now is eat and sleep. Except on the days where I'm forced to take a bath, which I really hate doing. Me and my wife Beth live with my mom, my sister, and her fiance Keith. And usually it's either my mom or my wife that eventually make me take a bath.
Gina's Season 8 episode revealed a teenager already topping 300 pounds, abandoned by her father and fighting body image demons. By her mid-20s, she needed her wife Beth to help her bathe. Nerve pain shot through her hands and feet, making every movement an ordeal. Gina filmed chair workouts to guarantee at least some movement daily, but an infection hospitalized her in 2021. On August 1st, she was found unresponsive at home. Her passing shows how chronic pain, emotional trauma, and obesity can weave into a single lethal knot. Renee Biren.
When I wake up in the morning, I know I made it through another night. Because the pain is there to remind me that I'm still alive. Getting out of bed for me is very painful. From my back to my legs, it's just pain that I can't even describe. And every day it gets harder to move and harder to breathe.
Season 6's Renee endured a very tragic pass and a car wreck that shattered her spine. She entered Dr. Now's clinic at 631 pounds and left 250 pounds lighter. Her 6 children cheered as she tried Pilates from a wheelchair, determined to walk again. Post-show, she was diagnosed with Guillain-Barré syndrome, a rare disorder that attacks nerves, undoing much of her mobility work. She died on May 14th, 2021, at 56, proof that even hard-won success can crumble under unrelated medical curveballs. Colisa McMillian.
I'm very concerned about Colisa right now because it is a very real possibility. Her health is about to start deteriorating rapidly and get to a point here soon that we won't be able to bring her back from, especially with the poor condition of her heart. But my biggest concern right now is the possibility that she may have some sort of intestinal blockage that may require surgery to address to prevent it from becoming life-threatening for her.
Colisa, a Season 8 mother of 4, once suffered a heart attack at 39 while folding laundry. At 643 pounds, she called Dr. Now her last hope to be mom again. She lost weight quickly but suffered a surgical leak that triggered sepsis. Doctors placed her in a medically induced coma. She flatlined on September 22nd, 2020. Surgeons later called her case borderline inoperable from the start, sparking fierce debate among viewers about high-risk procedures on fragile hearts. James King.
The second I open my eyes, I'm just in so much pain, but I'm still just grateful to be alive. And I tell the Lord, thank you, Lord, for another day, because I don't know how many I have left.
James King was a 46-year-old man from Kentucky who weighed 735 pounds, which meant that his body was slowly giving up on him.
My dad's gotten worse, and I'm worried that he's close to losing it all. He basically already has. And I will have no idea how to help my dad.
Featured in Season 5, oscillated between defiance and desperation, Entering at 735 pounds, he crept up to 840 while hospitalized, caught bribing nurses for pizza. His father begged Dr. Now to keep trying. James eventually lost 340 pounds, but organ failure galloped ahead. Liver and kidney collapse claimed him on April 3rd, 2020. James illustrates how addiction mentality can stalk patients into the ICU, where opportunity for relapse still exists. Sean Milliken. Season 4's Sean weighed 1,003 pounds after a childhood injury confined him to bed, and food soothed his loneliness.
You follow any diet?
The last calories that I was trying to get him at was approximately 2,500 a day. We were at 2,500 a day, yeah.
You know what we do?
Right.
Keep him at 800.
That's fine. We know what we're getting into.
Dr. Now doesn't just focus on Sean's weight. He quickly picks up on the toxic dynamic between Sean and his mother. She's always there, ready to give in to his every demand and excuse, and it's clear that this has only fueled his condition.
Hurricanes later destroyed his home, compounding stress. With cameras rolling, Sean's mother, his main caregiver, passed away, leaving him adrift. Cardiac arrest following an infection ended his life on February 17th, 2019, at just 29. Sean's journey proves catastrophic weight plus sudden grief can overload the heart in ways viewers rarely see. Kelly Mason?
After her appointment, Kitty was getting in the van, but she struggled to get in her seat. And she's now stuck on the floor and unable to get up now with the position she's in. And my concern is that the strain of that will lead to her suffering cardiac arrest here soon if we don't get her up. All right, just take a deep breath and breathe normally, okay? Help us coming in, okay?
Whatever, get me out of here.
I know. But it's going to be very difficult to figure out how we lift 700 pounds, especially when she's wedged in between the seats, preventing anyone from being able to reach her. So right now, the only option we can even try will be to get a sheet or a tarp under her to try and pull her out. But we have to get her up soon, before her body starts to reach a breaking point.
How are you?
How are you feeling today?
A lot better.
Great. Well, we finished running all our tests, and our biggest concern is your heart right now. So we're gonna keep you here on a controlled diet you've been on, because it's very important we get your weight down significantly right now. And we're gonna also start you doing physical therapy every day.
At 725 pounds, Kelly Mason rattled off her condition list like a pharmacist: high blood pressure, diabetes, blood clots, arthritis, and congestive heart failure. She made viewers tear up by singing gospel hymns during weigh-ins and still shaved off over 200 pounds. 10 months in, nurses found her peacefully gone on February 15th, 2019. Kelly's arc reminds us internal organs need years, sometimes decades, to catch up with rapid weight loss. Lisa Fleming. Lisa's earliest memory of food as punishment involved her mother forcing her to finish an entire cake for sampling one slice. By the time EMTs pried her from her bed with a 7-member crew, she was 705 pounds.
1, 2, 3. My life is so exhausting.
It hurt.
I'm stuck in this bed. And I'm helpless. I can't go anywhere. I can't walk. The littlest things I can't do for myself. And the soreness I have in my body makes every movement difficult. It just hurts. My 2 daughters and 5 grandkids live with me, and I rely on my family for help.
In 6 months, Lisa dropped 200 pounds, but her immune system collapsed. A heart attack ended her life in August 2018 at 50. Her experience spotlights how severe childhood trauma often sits at the root of adult binge eating disorders. James L.B. Bonner turned season 6 into a feel-good phenomenon by losing half of his 650-pound frame and inspiring thousands on Instagram.
No one understands how hard it is to be over 600 pounds and missing a leg. Those two factors combined make getting around almost impossible. Right now, the prosthetic leg I use is barely able to hold my weight. And every morning I have to fight to put a liner on over my stump. Then I have to be able to maintain my own balance. So I get shortness of breath from doing all the scooting and leaning up and all that. And it's pretty much impossible to ignore the pain and the aching and just the overall bad feeling, because my knee's killing me, my back's killing me. So my weight, it's keeping me from having a life.
But off camera, he numbed flashbacks from losing a foot in a crash with alcohol. On August 2nd, 2018, LB died by suicide. Family accused producers of ignoring mental health red flags. His story argues that emotional aftercare should be baked into every dramatic transformation program. Robert Buchel.
I don't think you want that. I don't want to see that happen. And I know Catherine doesn't want to see that happen. So your new facility is going to be your last chance. If you don't start doing what you need there, then there is really nothing more we can do to help.
Okay.
Before you come to here, you were walking pretty good distance, right?
Well, only when somebody followed me with a wheelchair.
But you were walking.
Yes, but I was never getting up freely on my own.
Mm-hmm.
This is more of a leg problem, not me wanting to do this problem.
Just stop with the excuses and get out of this bed.
See, I fully understand what you mean. The only thing is that my leg is not letting me do it. It's not because...
That's what he's talking about.
Every time you bring it up, you just go back to, I can't get up, I can't get up. Well, you can't. So your excuses are over. They're done.
New Jersey's Robert Buchel started at 840 pounds and lost 340 quickly. Surgeons removed debilitating lymphedema masses weighing 40 pounds, but Robert developed opioid dependence to manage post-op pain. He tore out 4 lines, hunting for pills, and suffered a fatal cardiac arrest on November 15th, 2017. Robert warns that pain management plans are as crucial as diet plans when extreme surgeries are involved. Henry Foots was one of the very first participants viewers ever met.
Henry Foots captured viewers' hearts with his kind disposition and sincere desire to attend his high school reunion looking his best. Through hard work, Henry lost an impressive amount of weight, dropping from 750 pounds to 275 pounds. He seemed ready to leave his past behind him. However, in a heartbreaking twist, Henry passed away in 2013, several months after having a medical episode while driving a bus, but the exact cause of his passing remains unknown.
An affable 47-year-old from Houston who tipped the scales at roughly 750 pounds and desperately wanted to look normal for his upcoming high school reunion. Over the course of his 2-part season 1 episode, he shed nearly 500 pounds, briefly flatlined on the operating table during a gastric bypass complication, but bounced back and eventually strutted into that reunion at a leaner 275 pounds. For a while, Henry became the series' feel-good poster child. He found steady work as a shuttle bus driver, posed for photos holding the suit jacket he could finally button, and told local reporters he was living proof it can be done. Then things took a dark, largely unpublicized turn. On November 28, 2012, Henry suffered a medical episode behind the wheel of his shuttle near Houston's Texas Medical Center. He lost consciousness, veered off the road, struck several cars, and fatally injured 43-year-old pedestrian Carlette Michelle Blake. 11 bus passengers were also hurt, though Henry himself survived with minor injuries. Authorities later said no drugs or alcohol were involved. It appeared to be a sudden fainting spell, possibly related to lingering circulatory issues after massive weight loss. Just 6 months later, on May 16th, 2013, Henry died at age 54. His family never released an official cause of death, but outlets reported it was unrelated to his surgery, leading many fans to suspect a heart event or blood clot. He was buried in Houston's Brookside Cemetery in an unmarked grave, a detail that surfaced years later when a YouTuber visited the site and had to use GPS coordinates to locate it. Highlights a side of my 600-pound life that the series rarely revisits: the long-term medical landmines patients still face, even after dramatic weight loss, and how quickly a success story can veer into heartbreak once the cameras stop rolling. Okay, so what do we actually take away from everything we've covered? The journeys we just revisited prove that the struggle is about far more than a number on a scale. It's a swirling mix of medical hurdles, emotional scars, and social pressure. Meanwhile, obesity keeps getting rebranded as normal, wrapped in bright body positivity hashtags. Scroll TikTok for 5 minutes and you'll see it. Influencers turning supersized meals into quirky content, selling the idea that life at 450 or 650 pounds is carefree, even aspirational. What you rarely see are the late night chest pains, the insurance denials, or the oxygen hoses coiled by the bed. Behind every viral clip sit prescription lists, mobility scooters, and family members quietly worrying about the next emergency call. The uploads spotlight the fun bits: self-love slogans, live your truth dances, spur of the moment indulgences, while skipping the daily grind that truly defines morbid obesity. Yes, everyone deserves to feel good in their own skin, but the conversation tilts when the loudest voices ignore serious risks and serve only half the reality. The former My 600-Pound Life patients we discussed tonight represent just a sliver of the millions facing those dangers every day. They fought for a reset, showed the guts it takes to rewrite lifelong habits, and yet 17 of them still didn't make it. Their stories drive home one bigger truth: our bodies will carry us as best they can, but if we push them past their limits and dismiss the warning signs, the bill eventually comes due, and the cost can be higher than any of us ever expect.
Just as we talked about this TikToker who glamorizes this type of a lifestyle, trying to encourage younger people to live it. It's absolutely insane. We did a deep dive on them right here. You can click on screen, or you can go down in the description and click on the link to watch it.